So this is one of those BBCs that I'm giving because uh, somebody sent in a question and a request. Okay, so I'm not going to read any names of people, but let me just read part of the request. Okay, so this person says, it's a dark political day out here. I fear for all of us. My existence in the US may become untenable. Will Venerable speak to the situation? I wonder what to do. I take refuge in the Three Jewels. Okay, so as we know, in the last not even 3 weeks yet, or yeah, the country has changed drastically, and policies or certain threats of policies or certain comments have created a lot of fear in groups of people. So one is the people who are immigrants, whether they're legal or illegal, because even if they're legal, if you have children or parents who are not, but are living here, your whole family could be split up. Yeah. Um, the thing of birthright citizenship, which is in the Constitution, the president said, we're getting rid of it. But he has no power to do that. But that does create fear in people. And I even spoke to one friend who's a naturalized citizen who's been living here since she was a kid, but she's afraid, you know, that just she'll get picked up when they're rounding up, you know, they're doing one of the ICE searches or, you know, what they're doing. So there's a lot of fear, you know, also on the part of the LGBTQ community. You know, will they be able to marry? Will they be able to live their life freely, or are they going to have to go undercover or lie about themselves? So there's a lot of fear, okay? And so this question is more how to deal with the fear, I think, because and fear may be the whole purpose of it. We don't know how many of these things are actually legal. It seems like a lot of them are not. And if Congress stood up for the role of Congress and performed their function, then some of these things may not be carried out, even if the executive power could do that. But our question is how to handle fear. Yeah, because fear immobilizes yourself. And I think the first thing is we don't know what's going to happen. Okay? So we're afraid because we don't know what's going to happen and we want security and to know. Okay? However, that is impossible to get because you don't know the future until the future happens. Okay, so finding complete security is like a rabbit's horn. It does not exist in samsara. So then the question is, well, then we're afraid of negative, harmful things happening in the future that are going to, you know, adversely affect our lives or the lives of the people that we care about. And uh, and here we're projecting into the future things that could happen that have not happened yet. So do you remember when we've talked about anxiety and worry and fear before? This is the same thing, because we don't know, but we project something negative, and then we paralyze ourselves. And paralyze ourselves with fear has absolutely no good function, because when we're paralyzed, we don't move, we don't think, we can't do anything, we just sit there and go, yeah. So I think, if we can see fear in that way and then realize, put it down, let's not waste our time being afraid of things that may never happen. Yeah, let's spend our time. This person said, I take refuge in the three jewels. Take refuge in the three jewels. Create virtue, purify negativities. These kinds of things could stop the ripening of one's own negative karma. Yeah. And so to do that, you have to put the fear aside and see that the fear is unrealistic. Yeah. That it really does, yeah, it's harmful actually. Yeah. Okay. So then I got another email from somebody else that tells how, oops, let me find it, that tells how they are dealing with this. Oh, okay, let's find this one. Here it is. Okay, so here's somebody, yeah, who writes, I don't know their immigration status. I don't know their, gender or anything like that. This is just what they wrote. And they said they're doing the retreat from afar. And, and they say that meditating on Shenrezi, the Buddha of compassion, has given me the essential tool in my ability to weather the current political and humanitarian crisis occurring in the United States. And I want to read this whole paragraph that she wrote. Specifically, this week's focus on attachment has led me to reflect on my attachment to what was clearly an erroneous idea. What's that erroneous idea? That the United States was immune to this kind of hostile takeover of the government that is now occurring. Okay? I believed that the system of checks and balances written into the Constitution, along with the moral foundation on which this country was founded, would protect us from what is happening now. I thought that what made America great was its moral underpinnings, however flawed had been their execution. Now I see that for Trump and many others, what makes America great is the constant accumulation of wealth and power. In other words, greed and attachment. All compounded phenomena are impermanent. Self and all phenomena come about through causes and conditions. Okay? In my past lives, I created the karmic seeds that have resulted in the mental suffering I am now experiencing. I also created the karmic seeds that allowed me to encounter the Dharma in this lifetime. Though this retreat from afar and beyond, or through this retreat from afar and beyond, I will continue to purify my past negative actions and endeavor to grow in my love and compassion for all sentient beings, while also working in whatever small way I can towards a compassionate society here in the United States, where diversity, equity, and inclusion continue to be honored. I am endeavoring to take this obstacle into the path to Buddhahood. So that's how she's dealing with it. Yeah, really in a very good Dharma way. Yeah. Of course, you know, what is not um, explicitly mentioned here is to do whatever we can to advocate that we want policies and actions on the part of the government that are wise and compassionate. Okay, so we write letters, you know, we speak, we promote um, the ideas that we find in accord with ethical conduct. Yeah, and we aren't afraid of saying those. Yeah, we still technically have freedom of speech in this country, even though we find a lot of elected officials, you know, are not speaking freely. They are, you know, when you kiss the ring, then you have to have a certain script. Okay, so you know, we do what we can, but I think what, you know, as this person said, to take this into the path, you know, to use it to motivate us to purify, to accumulate merit, to act with compassion, to develop wisdom, okay, and to speak out on behalf of the people who are afraid. Yeah, because it's difficult for them to speak out, because then people notice who they are, and maybe ICE comes for you, or, you know, the Christian version of the Sharia law comes after you. So, um, you know, they're the voiceless, so we speak for them. Yeah. Okay, and that, you know, we definitely created the karma to be in this situation. Yeah. And, you know, I thought about this before we started building the Buddha Hall, and I decided, well, we're here and we need a Buddha Hall. And the bell is on its way. And she said, even when the monastery falls into shambles or is destroyed, the bell will be here and people will find their way back. So clearly, I think the people who have the karma, the people who, you know, who support the Dharma, support the Sangha, they will be around and they need guidance, and society needs a conscience. So we're going to perform that function.